Do you understand how grotesque that sounds?
It sounds grotesque, but the environment that we're in right now is grotesque.
But why do you want to sound grotesque? I don't understand.
You cannot engage in behavior that leads us to this point, that brings us to the precipice, and then say, wait a second, wait, are you taking this a little bit too far?
So just to be clear, hang on, Dave.
We are exactly here
just to be
because
clear,
of what conservatives have said.
Just to be clear, Destiny,
years,
if it was close members of your family or close friends who had gone to that Donald Trump rally and who'd lost their lives, one did and two are critically ill, wounded, if they had died there, you would lose no sleep over that. Is that your position?
No, of course I would be sad. It would be tragic, of course. And the closer they are to you, the more sad it would be. The same way that if you had a child that, tried to rob a store and the child got killed by the police, that would also be tragic and sad.
So you wouldn't think fuck them because they're your family then? You'd have a different rule for your own loved ones.
Would I feel more upset if a person very close to me died rather than a person farther away died? Yeah, I think the answer there is yes.
Yeah, but you weren't just just to be clear, you weren't just not upset by the death of that firefighter who'd given great service as a firefighter to his country. You were gleeful and you said, fuck him. Fuck him.
I'm not. It's
Would
not
you
about
say
being gleeful.
fuck them if it was your family and friends?
Because he was a Trump supporter.
I would say that if they go to a rally like this and they support an insurrectionist president and something happens to them, I would feel sad on a personal level because they're my parents. But again, I learned from them.
Okay, just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am, 100%.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I 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 need it!
Welcome back to Disputes, where we cover the longest I told you so in human history. Today we're diving into a recent and very heated appearance by Destiny on Piers Morgan Show. Things got pretty intense as Destiny tried to justify his controversial comments about the firefighter who died at a Trump rally. Destiny, who's been known to be found in the corner chair of a hotel room with his wife and her best friend, made some crazy statements that we'll get into. And to make things even more interesting, Dave Rubin was there too, delivering a powerful closing statement. Let's break it all down.
Outrageous that someone has tried to assassinate a president, right?
If the other conservatives on this show want to say that it was absolutely outrageous that Donald Trump attempted to coup the government,
I'm asking you.
Then I would. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get on my knees and beg for forgiveness or show sympathy to conservatives.
I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you to condemn what happened as an egregious attack on democracy. Can you do that?
No, I won't. No, I won't.
You can't do that. You see, so why the hell, frankly, Destiny,
absolutely not.
Why the hell should we listen to a word you have to say about...
Why do you think conservatives haven't been listening to a word that liberals have said about anything for 8 years?
Right,
what do you think is going to change?
They?
You think that if liberals come out now and they go, oh my God, this was so horrible,
but here's
they're going to go,
point.
wow, that is true. Maybe that should also
Charlie, I'll bring you in at the end of this, I promise you, and you'll get a good chance to respond. But here's my problem, Destiny, with your whole position on this, right? Is that you don't actually have anything inside you that you want the other side to have. You don't have any of the empathy. You don't have any sympathy. You don't care that someone tried to assassinate Donald Trump. You don't care that a young fireman with a family was killed in the process. You don't actually. You are not the person you want these other people to be. And all you do is play whataboutery with every question I give you. And I'm just startled.
It's not what about it. We're talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about the temperature of this country. But here's a question for the two panelists. What percentage of this event happening was due to Donald Trump's rhetoric? What do they think the answer to that question is?
What percentage could it be that the other side, as we've just heard from Dave Rubin, has spent 8 years calling Donald Trump the new Adolf Hitler, a person who was responsible for the murder of 12 million people, including 6 million Jewish people in a Holocaust. Last time I checked, Donald Trump hasn't murdered 12 million people. So much as you would like him to be the new Hitler, he's not. But again, to an impressionable young deranged mind who has easy access to guns, that can be easily interpreted as an existential threat, said President Biden. Somebody that needs to be put in the bullseye, said Biden.
Okay,
only last week. And guess what? Somebody then comes forward and tries to kill the existential threat.
So for those who might not know, Destiny made some rather provocative statements about a firefighter who was tragically killed. while shielding his kids from bullets at a Trump rally. Destiny said that he didn't care about the firefighter's death because he was a Trump supporter and didn't deserve his sympathy. Understandably, this caused quite an uproar. Let's take a look at how he tried to explain himself on Piers Morgan's show.
You couldn't find it in your heart to chastise people for celebrating the near assassination of a man who was president of the United States and maybe again?
Absolutely not. Conservatives have completely bled that well dry. And the idea that they, after engaging in the most divisive and most extreme rhetoric that this country has seen in recent history, that they would come on and beg for sympathy, that it's escalated into some kind of violent confrontation is absolutely insane. Even the idea right now of saying, well, if you call somebody a Nazi for so long, it's, what do you expect people to do? I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh call Obama a communist every single day he was on the radio. You've got conservatives that talk about how the mRNA vaccines were ways to sneak microchips into us. You've got COVID lockdowns that were done because the government was trying to take all your freedom away. They won't acknowledge anything that happened on January 6th. They say that the election was stolen and that your country is being taken from you. I don't think anybody should be killed. I don't think anybody should go out and kill anybody. But when you engage in this type of rhetoric and when you turn the temperature up over and over and over and over again, there is absolutely no room for you to be shocked or surprised. And there certainly isn't room for you to ask for sympathy.
But you say, Destiny.
Destiny's argument here is that the firefighter, by supporting Trump, was part of a larger problem that he felt justified his lack of sympathy. This perspective, however, didn't sit well with many. Destiny continuously uses talking points like January 6th, conservatives refusing the vaccine, and how Nancy Pelosi was treated after her husband was attacked at his home. Which, let's face it, was pretty fair to ask, what the F just happened type of situation? Piers pressed Destiny on the idea that basic human empathy should transcend political differences, especially in such a tragic context. This is where things got really interesting with Dave Rubin stepping in. Dave Rubin's statement was a powerful reminder that, at the end of the day, humanity should come first.
Studio right now all gasped at that. When I happened to be at Target, the store Target we were checking out when I saw it on Twitter, and my heart actually sank. And I know that is the feeling of probably 200 plus, if not 300 plus million Americans, even many of whom would vote against Trump and do not like Trump and all of those other things. The idea that you can't show sympathy or empathy for that is so profoundly sad. I would also add one other thing here, which is that the reason you're so emotive and screaming beyond the Red Bull, and dude, just ease up, man, it's not healthy for your heart, is that you really don't have good arguments. So you're petulant and screaming as opposed to just trying to work things out. We're allowed to ask questions about these things, but I would hope that you would try, as Piers is pointing out, instead of always reaching for the lowest common denominator and they're bad, so I'll be worse. I would hope that we could try to be a little bit better than that. And by the way, I think that you're seeing that right now at the Republican National Convention. They're not going crazy over all of this. They're applauding the fact that Trump's there. They're rallying around the new VP choice. And I think you're going to see a wide swath of America that maybe didn't come out for Trump before and they're not traditional conservatives.
I totally agree.
I think you're going to see them support Trump and you're allowed to ask questions about these things. But I would hope that
his words seemed to resonate with many viewers who felt that Destiny's approach was too detached and lacked basic compassion. So there you have it. Destiny's attempt to justify his controversial comments on Piers Morgan's show certainly sparked a lot of debate. While he tried to make a broader point about political support and its consequences, many, including Piers Morgan and Dave Rubin, felt that he missed the mark by not showing enough empathy for a tragic and heroic situation. What do you all think? Was Destiny's explanation valid, or do you agree with Dave Rubin that he failed to show basic human compassion? I think it's a pretty obvious answer, but let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates and breakdowns of the latest news and controversies. Thanks for watching, and just remember, we told you so.